Ryan Chilcote joins us now. Ryan, welcome once again. You and I have spoken a couple of times over the past few weeks about this, and it occurred to me earlier when I was prepping for this chat with you that we haven't actually addressed Russia's security concerns. I saw one analysis that said, look, we have to understand that Russia has legitimate concerns. Europe has been aggressive towards Russia for the past 200 years.
Yeah, there is this sense in Moscow that, I'm not sure they would put it in these terms, but that the United States was not a graceful winner, if you will, of the Cold War, that after the Soviet Union collapsed, when the West made promises that NATO wouldn't expand, let's say, beyond Germany, it didn't keep those promises. That's basically a fact. And so in a way, the Russians have a point, which is to say, look, you said you weren't going to come further east. You're getting closer all of the time. But of course, that also ignores that those countries that we're talking about, Poland, Ukraine to a certain extent, that they want to be part of NATO. So they also get a vote in what happens with their destiny, right? And I think the real big question here is why now? Because NATO isn't doing anything more aggressive towards Russia with its expansion now than it was 2, 3, or 10 years ago. So I think Putin just thinks that he has an opportunity right now. Biden's probably disinterested in a big conflict, and so he's trying to win some points.
Do you expect any concessions from the West, either in the phone call that's about to happen or with the multiple meetings that are coming up early next month in January?
Yep, I do. I think they'll find some kind of middle ground. I think that Vladimir Putin is playing for whatever he can get. He knows perfectly well that he's not going to get a treaty, a legal agreement from the United States or from NATO countries that they're not going to expand. And maybe this phone call is part of that. He wants to figure out what kind of deal he can get from the West, because let's remember, he's now stuck his neck out. He's making these threats. He's invested in this, right? So he has to come out of it with something. And my guess is, my guess is probably as good as yours on this one, but a little bit informed after watching Russia for 30 years, that he just wants to really get a sense one-on-one from Biden, what Biden's prepared to do before Biden goes to that NATO meeting, because at the end of the day, Biden's going to have to sell any kind of deal he gets with Putin to the other NATO countries. So Putin wants to see what is the big guy ready to agree to, and then we can go forward with all these smaller technical talks, which are, that's just sort of, I don't know, moving chess pieces around. Ultimately, Vladimir Putin will make all of the decisions.
Ryan, your guesses are definitely better than mine, I can assure you about that. Okay, so we had Alexander Lukashenko, the Belarusian president, speaking personally in St. Petersburg with Vladimir Putin. They announced that at some stage early next year, we think maybe anytime January, February, March, there are going to be joint military drills between Russia and Belarus. I was just thinking, imagine if those military drills happen near the Poland border. I mean, another huge message to the West and to NATO, surely.
Sure, and we have no reason to expect that those drills won't go forward. The Russians and the Belarusians, they have every right to have those drills. And, look, I think the way we should look at this is Vladimir Putin's clearly disgruntled, right? There have been pretty serious sanctions imposed on Russia ever since 2014. And there are no particular signs out there right now that anyone's ready to invite him back into the club, right? They're out of the G8. They're out of a lot of different clubs. And so why not keep the pressure up if you're Vladimir Putin? What does he get in return from not having drills, exercises, military exercises in Belarus? And I think we probably ought to look at this conflict and this tension that we're looking at as the kind of conversation that we really probably will be having in 10, 20, maybe 25 years from now.
Wow. I'm trying to work out how old I'll be. Ryan Chilcote, I'll be younger than you anyway. Take care. Listen, have a happy new year. Ryan Chilcote speaking to us from London.